You are live. So as hard as it is for me to say, good morning. The Aggies won 6-0 last night. College baseball. They are headed to the finals of the College World Series. And all I have to say is congratulations. Some of you may not know, my father went there, graduated from there in 1955, back when men were men. He had to go into the military after Texas A&M. Really kind of changed his life, matured him up into the man that he became, the great man that he became. And so anyway, I'm super happy for all my Aggie friends out there, including my daughter who attends Texas A&M, and it is the absolute perfect place for her to be going to college. So anyway, congratulations. A lot of stuff going on out there. I know I haven't been on in a while, but I just wanted to say hi, give you a quick update on what's going on. Some of you may know that last week the Fed met. They said we are not going to change rates yet again. And so what we then anticipate, though, from their language is that there will be a rate cut based on our employment, based on inflation, sometime later in this year. A lot of the analysts are expecting September. I think a lot of us that communicate with each other all the time know that, retail sales have kind of been slowing down. Everyone is watching where they're spending their money, and we can feel it a little bit. Now, with regard to the housing market, supplies coming up, we are seeing not the kind of increase in supply that we would expect this time of year, meaning more houses coming on the market because, a lot of people want to start a new school district. This is when a lot of transfers take place from one place, one geographic area to another. And so the supply comes on this time of year. This in the summertime is when our supply usually goes up. And as a lot of you know, over the last few years, even though sales have slowed down, sales prices have continued to move up simply because we have what's called the lock-in effect of people that are in very low mortgage rates are unwilling to leave their home for a 7-8% mortgage rate. So when the Fed came out last week, the Fed came out and said, we're not going to change rates. What happened at that point was people started to move into bonds. And when people start to move into bonds, it actually pushes the interest rate on the bonds down because the supply going in means they don't have to offer as high of a rate as they do. And so you'll see a lot of financial advisors moving you into longer term bonds now to try and lock in that rate because money market accounts, which have been earning 5, now that they're loading into bonds and those rates on the bonds are coming down, that will bring down the rate on money market accounts and everything else. So they're going to try and move your money into longer term bonds. But what that means effectively for all of us that actually live life out here in the real world is the 10-year treasury yield has come down a little bit. And when the 10-year yield treasury bill comes down, mortgage rates come down with it. So we've gone from over 7 to under 6 this week, and we're hearing offers from mortgage companies of in the 6.5 range, that kind of thing, which is very inviting to those people that have been locked in for 3 years or 4 years now. And when they get locked in for 4 years and you have all the D words, death, divorce, diamonds, somebody getting married, or they're having babies, that there comes a point where they say, I don't care what it costs. We need a bigger house, or I can't live with you anymore. Whatever. They're starting to maneuver. But the good news is as we increase supply in this season, and I'm hoping we see a lot more, but as we increase supply, we're seeing homes come on the market that haven't been on the market in the past. So they're very cool, very livable, whatever it is to whoever's demanding that home, but they're getting a lot of demand on the buyer side. Mortgage applications are going up. Now, the realtors have had, it's been kind of steady to slow after the last time mortgage rates went up, and it went up a lot, demand did. So it was all really, really good. But now we're hopefully we need more supply on the market is what we need everywhere. There's still demand. People are unlocking. It's happening. And now that mortgage rates come down, a lot of people, maybe some of you out there, think about that when right now prices are holding pretty steady, we're seeing a lot of concessions across the board. But as prices hold pretty steady, more demand comes in, mortgage rates go down. Just think what that's going to do to pricing now. If anybody's waiting to buy until prices come down, we may not hear it. You hear a lot about Austin prices coming down, and that all of these areas that did so well during COVID and slightly after are now seeing price decreases. But think about it in terms of what Austin has become from a lot of us that remember it. Austin used to be this. Austin is now literally this. It's so huge, and the areas that are experiencing price decreases tend to be on the fringes. And a lot of us know about this. As you build a new subdivision, a home builder goes in, they're going to move the houses at the end of the quarter, no matter what. And so they're going to drop the price. They're going to offer incentives. They're going to pay realtors a lot more. They're going to do everything they can to get that house moved. So you're seeing that in areas that grew so rapidly that are seeing some capitulation when it comes to getting the price right to get that inventory moved. A lot of us who are trying to sell our house are like, I could have gotten, coulda, woulda, shoulda 4 years ago. And we're emotionally attached to our house because we've invested all this money. We've made all these improvements. Fact of the matter is, it's a science. And appraisers and even a lot of realtors that value your house are looking to the past to value the home now. And what you need is valuable insight from somebody that can tell you where the market is now and what they see going forward when you go into that pricing situation. Because if it's priced according to someone that has advised you properly on the past, combined with where they say the market is going, we are still seeing multiple offers. We are still seeing prices go slightly above asking. Now, there are conditions associated with all of that, but it's a reality that that's what's happening right now. And if you get a minute, just podcast right here that I can recommend is huge fan of Howard Schultz. His book back in whenever it was, 2014 or 15, incredible impact on my life. Just the way he had a vision for that business and stuck to it no matter what to achieve that vision. He just created the steps in between. If they didn't work, he maneuvered. It's funny how a lot of us give advice now on, morning routine, then time block your day and all those things. It's easy on the other side of success to go back. But in the beginning, a lot of us didn't have those routines. It was, we evolved into it over time. Typically, it just started with old-fashioned hard work. And none of it happened overnight. The typical time that I see, I read a lot of biographies, is about 10 years. And then you're an overnight success. It's pretty fascinating when you see it all. But anyway, there's a podcast called Acquired. And it's a long one, but he is so great. And they actually have Howard Schultz in the room, and the guy, to hear his passion at 70 years old for the company that he bought with 6 stores when he bought it. And all they did was sell coffee beans. They didn't serve coffee at the time. And so to see the evolution of where all that came out with his voice, with his passion, is fascinating. It's worth a watch if you've got time. It's on YouTube and it's in your podcast app or anywhere you watch it. The podcast is called Acquired, but you can actually, if you want to stream it to your TV, and it is, instead of a show, it's fascinating and it's really, really, really great. I went to a meeting last week with the Economic Development Foundation, and we talked about the deepening and widening of the Neches River. If y'all did not know, so the Neches River runs all the way through 5 counties, 6 counties, all the way out into the Gulf of Mexico. It has become just a absolute avenue of industry, and it provides so many jobs and provides so much economic stability for the rest of the country with regard to, whether it's gases, chemicals, or oil for the rest of the country. It's amazing. And the work that they're doing out here, it's now the third largest waterway in the country with regard to industrial traffic and with regard to imports and exports now, because a lot of you may or may not know that the U.S. is now the largest producer of oil of all the countries. And we produce about 12 million barrels a day. But we, the United States, consume 20, but we still produce more than Saudi Arabia. That's why you see OPEC right now cutting production, is because we are able to produce so much. Their intent is a little deeper than that they want to cut production to raise prices so that we can't produce it as inexpensively as we are right now. So it's a little political maneuver that they use to get into our economy. And you can see how deep all of these political machinations are to tweak everything here and there to put the screws to us, basically, is what they're trying to do. But here we are the hub of liquefied natural gas, which is predominantly an export right now. We send all of that to other countries and bring their money here, which is great. And then our oil, a lot of it stays here. If somebody will pay more, we send it over there. But again, I didn't know if you knew that we produce that much oil here. It's fascinating. But anyway, that creates all kinds of jobs. So there's a ton of expansion on the refining end over here. The shipping end over there is a lot of the white collar jobs are happening. And they are the ones that are moving into office space. They are the ones that are occupying. They're the ones that are paying rent. They're the ones that are bringing their families in. Their families then are demanding services from school districts, from retail stores, from financial advisors, from insurance to real estate agents. All of those jobs are what make this economic engine go. So, hey, I'm going to get out of here. Have a great day. That's your update. Everything's still looking pretty good. I can see on the other end, retail sales are declining some. That everyone is conscious of what things cost now. Even though the government may tell you that inflation is coming down, I know every single one of us goes to the grocery store and we know that things have not come down. Prices have not come down. We go to a restaurant, prices have not come down. And it's everywhere where we are actually consuming that prices have not come down. And I think we're going to see a little moment where we have some uncertainty there for a minute, but don't worry, we're a resilient group. And don't forget, election year, if you haven't seen how all of that is starting to load up into the system to try and drown out all the noise from everything else, that's good for you. Don't pay any attention until maybe the middle of October, and then we'll think about it. Anyway, make it a great week. Have a great day, great rest of the week, and we'll see you soon.